Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle Toronto by Night. This is episode 3 of our limited series. As a warning, this is a mature game and explores some dark and troubling themes. These may include body horror, gore, violence, loss of character agency, gaslighting, mind control, and many others. Our players have discussed consent boundaries, and we collectively avoid situations that may be triggering. Players will always let me know if anything gets uncomfortable by using yellow and red cards in our private chat. If you as a viewer ever feel uncomfortable or triggered, please pause and step away. Our streams are going to be available on YouTube after the game, so you can always come back to an episode if you feel ready. First, let's thank our sponsor, Mikhail Artoria of Artoria Designs, who created these beautiful dice boxes. Please visit him on Instagram, and the link will be over in the chat. Let me just double check and see which way I'm pointing on that one. Nope. That way. Alright, so also Dogmite Games. Dogmite Games is the best gaming company you've never heard of. They combine craftsmanship with artistry to create truly unique pieces of functional art for your game, from dice boxes and rolling trays to fully sculpted Valhalla screens for GMs. Each piece is created on site in their workshop in Michigan by a devoted team of craftsmen. And I've got the Gangrel one. Because Gangrels are still the best clan. So, if you don't agree, you're wrong and very comfortable in doing so. So, it's time to introduce the vampires for this particular chronicle. Let's start with Cliff.
Happy Time Zone viewers, my name is Cliff. This evening I will be once again playing the role of Barker, the Nosferatu. No adjectives will apply at this time.
Joanna.
Hello, my name is Joanna. My pronouns are she, her. And today for you, I will be playing Eloise Trent, also she, her, the Ventru, who just loves being part of the clan of the kings.
And Prince.
Hello, everyone. I'm Prince, also known as Dimples and Dice around the internet. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Ali Sue, the Salubri Private Eye.
And our special guest for this chronicle, Anne.
Hi, I'm Anne, also known as XO_Girl Wonder on Twitter, and today I will be playing Diana Chambers, the Toreador Lounge Singer.
So, when last we saw our intrepid coterie, they were just meeting with someone at St. Patrick's Station, which I believe was the werewolf named Rings the Bell, who had a duster. He seemed to be connected after they had talked to one of the bartenders over at the Savage Garden, which was someone you might find a little bit familiar if you watch any of the Vancouver by Night stuff. She had apparently moved to Toronto in the interim, which was Maxine. And it was an interesting evening for the Kindred. They attended Elysium. They got some information for the prince about contacting certain supernaturals. And it ended off with them all going their separate ways. But the next evening is where we're going to pick up this particular game. So the next evening, everyone, I will need a rouse check from you all. And if you're playing the home game, if you go over there, you can do a rouse check in the chat. Just hit !rouse. And Barker is already thumbs up. Diana is thumbs down. And whoa, Barker's bucking the trend. Eloise, you here. You should probably eat.
I understand. I'll do so.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you worry. Make it rich. Make it old rich. That's the way you like it, right?
That is correct.
I will do that. Just give me a second.
And Ali, you arise from day sleep. You feel that kind of weird tingle in the back of your head again. Come on, kid. You gotta eat something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. You think?
Listen, eating is not top priority at the moment.
What the hell is top priority?
Figuring out what the fuck is going on in the city.
Yeah, you can figure that out later. Go eat your Wheaties or whatever the fuck.
Wheaties. You know my eating habits.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Kind of the reason why you have those feeding habits.
Listen, me and you, we can work together, but not with this relationship.
I mean, if you eat, you hear me less. Do you see how this works?
Yes, but that is always appeasing you. And that is not a relationship that works well for me. We have to come together in a decent place. And you telling me when and what to do, that just doesn't work for me.
The only way you can not have me telling you what to do is by draining people dry. That's all I'm saying.
Next time, then.
That's the last you hear about that. And you hear, Diana, darling, you should probably eat something.
I know. It's a nice crowd this evening. Maybe I'll take a nibble before I go meet with everyone else.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. Well, hang tight, honey. I'm gonna go perform, do my thing, and we'll find something to eat.
And that's the last you hear about that. So let's do another quick round table to find out what everyone's preparations are for the evening. Let's start with Barker. What is Barker doing upon waking up? What does Barker's nightly routine kind of look like?
It varies night by night, but tonight he's got a bit of a mission. So get up, slide upstairs through one of the other exits, drop mask in place so he just fades into the crowds. And I'm going to kind of meander through a few of the other speakeasies and clubs downtown that are known to attract the undead set because I'm looking for faces.
Okay. Give me let's go with a wits, let's say wits and investigation.
Yeah, I can do that.
Because you're scoping through the speakeasies to try to find some familiar faces that may or may not have shown up to yours several nights ago.
Oh, and I roused for the mask and did just fine.
Alrighty. Yeah, I was just about to ask, but see, that's why awesome players are great. They just take care of things for you, and then you're like, okay, yeah, you took care of it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Excellent. That's 5 successes. I'll take that. That's happy making.
You kind of, go in. You know a bunch of the bouncers already. It's kind of like the old Queen West vibe, where it's just like you kind of nod at each other. They wave you in. They know, they know everybody. But you can't seem to find any of the people that had possibly were going to start a fight at your establishment a couple nights ago.
And I'm looking for both groups because I would have remembered, roughly faces from the mix. I'm looking for both the supposed anarchs and the supposed Camarilla.
There are neither.
While I'm there, I will chat up staff about, have there been any rough housing lately? Any stuff like this break out? Any idea of, what the fuck is going on?
You kind of get back that, there's like it was actually What you were looking for 2 nights ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about 2 nights ago. Like usually things are there's the odd drunk here and there. There's the odd, kindred. They get somebody sauced up and then they have a bite and then they get a little uncontrollable because they've never had alcohol in like 20 years. We toss them out, but yeah, 2 nights ago there was like a fight that broke out between like two groups of people.
And were there anyone shouting anything? Did it sound like what the fight was about, or it was just suddenly fists are flying and they're kicking each other's butts?
Yeah, it's they didn't really shout anything. There was no like "Viva la Revolution," "Go Anarchs" type shit. It was just a fight broke out. They just
Hmm.
decided, hey, let's get into a fight. It seemed to be kind of Anarchs and Camarilla based.
How do you know this? Did you recognize anyone?
Not really, but it just seemed like, that's a good point. Huh. Didn't really think of it. Well, there was like suits and stuff on the one side, and then like a bunch of leather jacket clad jackasses on the other.
Okay.
Hmm.
No, that's I follow.
Yeah,
I'd see where you get that impression.
yeah, that is a good point. Come to think of it, I don't think we saw anybody. I, I don't remember any of their faces from before. It seems like they were all kind of. We just thought there had been like a grand number of people coming into the city type thing. Like we didn't actually, huh? Yeah, it's a, yeah. I don't think any of them were the regular clientele.
Yeah, a little bit of a puzzler. We had a little bit of the situation ourselves. Same kind of deal.
Hmm. All right.
Now, am I finding that I should be able to stop at like two or three places quick. Am I finding pretty much the same story?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. You're getting the same sort of like, yeah, we did have something happen 2 nights ago. Fucking weird shit. They don't seem to
Okay.
be our regular clients, but it seemed like Anarchs and Camarilla fighting. But yeah, that's weird.
Okay. So yeah, I'll do hour and a half, and then I'll head back to the cloak.
Okay. And let's go with Eloise next. You, I believe, have at least one of your havens is up in the tower that is above the cloak bar.
Yes. So Eloise, upon waking up, would have been checking her messages to see if that friend of ours from yesterday had actually sent us any messages or like gotten in contact with anybody that we know.
There is nothing yet.
Nothing yet. The money ticks away every day, is what Eloise says to herself. So Eloise is going to go down to the cloak bar, to the part where the humans are.
Okay.
And Eloise is feeling a little peckish and is going to look for some moneyed folks.
Okay.
Do I recognize anybody who I know to be of that sort of persuasion in the bar?
That's a good question. I'm going to make you roll for it.
Okay.
Let's do wits and investigation or wits and awareness. Or if you wanted to, like wits and politics. If that's a better roll. Which is rare that I have anybody roll politics, anything. So yeah.
Actually, I do have 1 point in politics, but that's definitely not the better role for me. So,
right.
Yeah.
And 3 successes.
3 successes.
You're looking around. There Okay, this guy over here. It's actually someone you've fed from before. But it's been over a month. They've had time to, get some orange slices or whatever, get some iron back in their blood.
Okay, so I recognize them. I'm gonna walk over and say hello.
Hmm.
How is it? How is
Hello.
everything this evening for you?
Good. We we took your advice. We got out of the NFT thing. Yeah,
Good.
it was not that was not a good time. I don't think anybody would be having a good time with NFTs.
Did you recover? May I ask?
Well, yeah, we got out before they tanked.
Yeah, I know they had been. So you're all good then. You're back to normal. Everything's
Yeah,
okay. Good. Good. Good.
though
I would hate.
we are going to be investing in there's like a green initiative that's like in Mexico. They're just brand new. They're starting up.
Hmm.
They're gonna put like solar panels across like
Okay.
a bunch of different buildings.
What's the name of the company? Have they gone public yet?
It's like Suncore.
Have they gone public?
No,
Oh, so you can get in on the ground floor. Have you tied anything up in there?
there's a few things.
Okay. All right.
We take about
Eloise,
we diversify things. We take about 1 or 2% from all the different companies that we have, and then we dump it into another one.
that's fantastic. And Eloise is going through this just to make sure that their overall financial value hasn't dropped, that their portfolio hasn't dropped to the point where she doesn't want to feed on them anymore.
Oh, those have been
Um,
true.
Yes. And so she sits down and she's like, okay, you got to tell me more. I might want to get in on this one. And in doing so, she will want to take a bite.
Okay, yeah, it's easy enough to do. You could take
Okay.
half on most of your socials and be like, yeah, you're fine.
All right. So in doing so, then she goes down to one hunger um, and says to blah, 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 because we didn't actually get the name and we can leave it that way.
It's not important at all.
It's not. And Eloise is going to say, you know what? I'm so excited for you, and I'm so excited that you've given me this information. You know what? Drinks on me. I'll start a tab for you
All right,
on
all
my
right,
account. All right? Okay. I will see you later. Have a good one. And
yeah.
then
Oh yeah,
Eloise is
and they're like completely flustered still from the feeding.
okay. And Eloise is going to slowly walk over to the door to get to the better part of the bar.
Okay. Ali, what is Ali's night looking like?
Um, I think Ali's big move would be going to the border parts of the city
Okay.
and seeing if anyone has seen these new people come in.
Okay.
These people that showed up to our club, and they seem to be unknown by both the prince and the baron. I want to know if anyone else has got eyes on them, so I am looking into this closely to try to find out.
Let's do another wits and investigation on that one, which I believe is Ali's strong suit.
It just so happens to be.
Wow, we're doing a lot of
Man,
wits and
fuck it.
investigations.
For the funsies, I will
Give it a rouse.
give it a rouse. And I get hungrier.
Listen, man. Like
We're
I don't
gonna
like.
eat someone.
like,
That's the plan.
gotta
The
eat
plan is to
somebody.
Eat someone
Look.
at the border. Leave them in another city.
When you
It'll be
find
fine.
when you find one of those shitheads, just eat them. It's fine. Then you have all the information.
Yeah, but then you get visitors and guests, and
Just a little.
I'm not a fan of that. Let's see. Shit.
There's some dice ASMR for everybody.
Do, do, six, 7 successes.
7 successes.
Yep.
You.
That's a crit. Messy crit as it happens.
Okay. So that would actually make you a bit hungrier. You would hear.
Then. At that point, I would go and find someone before.
Oh,
Before I continue the investigation, because the stigmata starts to kick in.
Okay.
And I'm starting to bleed down my forehead and stuff. And so at that point, you see the bandana go on tighter, cover it up, gloves go on the hands. And Ali is just looking for whoever at this point.
Okay. What is Ali's regular feeding type?
Ali's regular feeding type is also from the Sword of Cain book, and it's called the Sorority Sister. I like to go out and socialize on the hunt.
That one's probably not going to work this time.
Yeah, it's more like either flirty or learning something about a person. Yeah, I don't really have that in me right now.
No. But the feeding type is just a suggestion, really, than anything else.
Yeah, I'm just going to compel someone.
Okay. That's easy enough to do. You could probably take half. Are you going to go for the whole Capri Sun, or are you just going to take a little bit?
Oh, yeah. This is one that I'm going to, drop off across the border. It's someone else's problem at that point, since I'm visiting the borders, and then but we're taking this one down to 0.
Okay, that will be a humanity stain. Drop them off to go back. That's a little bit of a drive from Toronto. Somebody put that in the chat. It's like that'll take a while.
Drop them off Quebec.
I mean,
that's all right.
Yeah, it's a little bit faster
about
to get.
5
I was
hours.
like, I'm not super high on my geography, but I'm pretty sure that's a bit of a distance.
I mean, it depends on
five
how-
hours each way. But if you go at this time of night, you could probably make it in 4.
Yeah, and it also depends on how fast you
that's true.
drive. Because
And my
if
old
you do
beamer, I
have the
could probably get a
charisma,
move on. Keep
yeah,
around
if you do
100
have
miles
the
per hour.
charisma,
Yeah.
you can probably convince the highway patrol to not actually, or the OPP in this particular case, not to actually, give you a ticket. So you'll stop for 5 minutes, and yeah, you can probably do it in less.
I'm sorry. I just
No,
I have
no worries.
issues. I
And being-
like to throw shade at Quebec.
And being a vampire, you wouldn't need to stop at the roadside stops periodically to
This is true.
That's
do
true.
things. You could just
Rolling,
cruise
rolling,
straight on
rolling,
in
rolling.
until you hit that wall of French.
The wall of French.
That wall of French. So, yeah, you drop them off. You go down to 0 hunger and take a bit of a stain. But that slows you down for a little bit, and then you are, I'm assuming, making your way to the cloak bar.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Speaking of the cloak bar, let's go with Diana. How are you? What is the beginning of your evening look like?
So I think that this particular evening, Diana does something a little bit different.
Okay.
And she reaches out to like other speakeasies in the area and tries to
Okay.
get like a guest spot or see where if there's an open mic or someplace where she isn't as well known to kind of scope out, feed, just to change it up a little. But I
Okay.
think what she'll also do is kind of keep an ear out when she's out there, and she's trying to also kind of suss out whether those really annoying kindred that are trying to start fights they start a fight where she is, like she's
Okay.
going to visit another similar speakeasy and
Okay,
go hang out with the other kindred and see what's up.
for the keeping an ear out, let's do a wits and investigation roll for you as well.
So here's an alternate proposal. Because I don't have any investigation.
Okay.
Hold on, what is it? Investigation?
You could-
no, I never knew her. What about Streetwise? Because I have a speakeasy lounge's specialty.
Okay, yeah. Let's go with Streetwise.
So the specialty is an extra dot?
Specialty will be an extra die, yeah.
Oh, this does not look good. I would like to rouse. I think. Yeah, I'll go for it.
Okay.
That's a success.
Okay. So that adds 2 extra dice as well.
Okay, we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I have a skull on my red die.
Okay.
And 1 success on a black die. So.
The 1 success is enough. Yeah. Like
okay.
You don't have to worry about any ones on
I'm just very hungry.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about ones on the red dice if you have successes. So that's nothing to worry about. You can't quite suss anything out. You can't quite figure. You're sort of busy singing as well. So we'll do a little bit of a retcon minorly, and that the speakeasy that Diana ended up for the one that she went to for the open mic would probably be about the last one that Barker was at when Barker was doing the rounds and trying to figure out. So Barker would recognize that Diana would be on stage and probably wait till after her set.
Yeah. I think what I want to do is also see if I could get into like the kindred side of this particular speakeasy as a visitor and like announce myself and do all of the.
Oh yeah, that'd probably be probably be like where you would be singing, really.
Yeah, and I would probably also see if I could get like a nice drink to maybe stave off some of the hunger before I get back to the
all
home
of
base.
These particular speakeasies generally get their blood from similar sources, so yeah, it's easy enough to get a drink.
Yeah, and I kind of see, because the idea is like once she's heard that fights are breaking out in other places, she wants to see if she might catch a fight and see who's there, and who starts things up.
There's no fight that seems to be starting in this particular location.
Okay. All right. I will head back to home base, and if Barker allows himself to be seen, and then, I just kind of assume that Barker does Barker things and, hides out. So is Barker visible?
No. End of the set, Barker would definitely come up and let you know if he's there and say, Ms. Chambers, nice catching you away from home. It's always good to see if the grass is any greener on the other side of the skating rink.
Not entirely. It's not at all the reason I venture out. Sometimes it just, need a change of scenery.
Yeah. Oh, I understand that completely. Staring at the same 4 walls after a while, you get kind of a little bad, pardon the pun.
I can't imagine a place better than ours, honestly. There's no place like home.
No. And yeah, the cloak is indeed number 1. I just thought these are the guys think that they're still doing a good job. It's good for relations.
Yeah, I mean, I am arguably the most visible of our coterie, so I like to foster good relations,
It's a good way of doing it. I was heading back to the cloak now, if you thought that was last week.
Yeah. So when I get the drink, is it enough to remove a hunger? Can I get a drink
Yeah.
from there and to remove a hunger?
Yeah, that would remove a hunger. Like, what is your hunger currently at?
Well, now it's at 2.
Now it's so it was
No,
at
it was
3
at
or
3, and
okay.
now, yeah.
You if you got one before your set and then you went back, circled back around, maybe got one after the set, then you can drop it down to 1 easy enough.
Okay. I get a couple of drinks, I did as a, like, I show up as a paying customer and, foster goodwill.
Yep.
How did Barker bring a car or something? No? Are we just going underground walking? Okay,
Just
so
strolling.
as we're walking, Diana says to Barker, honestly, I was kind of hoping a fight would break out just to see if, who's starting shit up.
I got some theories. I want to get back to the cloak and bounce him off of that. Especially Ali. He might have some ideas. He's a little closer to where my theories are coming from than I was.
Okay. And then they'll just meet up at the cloak, probably a little bit later, showing up a little bit later than everyone else.
All right. So everybody is basically at the cloak at this particular point in time, in the sub basement of the cloak, which is a kindred / ghoul only area. So what is everyone doing?
Eloise is chatting with the barkeeps, finding out what their most recent experiences have been out in the world, seeing as they're thin bloods, and kind of keep tabs on other stuff, and having that discussion, waiting for everybody else to show up.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as what it usually is. Except for that weirdness the other night. That was pretty much the only different thing, really.
Have there been any rumblings among your clan? No. Okay. Well, you guys usually seem to stay out of things, which I think is a good thing. I think if everybody else adopted that philosophy, it'd probably be a lot better off. But
sometimes we stay out of it because we don't want to be in it. Sometimes we don't really have a choice.
That's fair. You guys get way too much hate. Way too much. You guys are awesome.
Really?
Keep doing it.
All right. Cool.
Well, I mean, you've been working here. I mean, I don't know if your entire clan is awesome, but I'm saying you two have been good to this bar. You have been doing good work, and I appreciate good work. The politics aside and all that stuff, and, obviously whatever I think is not important here. You're doing good work, and that is the most important thing.
We try. We're trying. There's like a resume that came in like during the day. It's for like a Maxine something or other.
Oh,
she said she met you at like Savage Garden, I think it was. Like
yeah. I didn't realize that Maxine would be interested in working here, but I mean, Maxine's good. Maxine can be trusted. So you know what? Why don't I, if you're okay with it, why don't I set up an interview with Maxine for the two of you? Because I've already met Maxine, but I want to make sure that Maxine gets along with the both of you.
All right.
And that you think that she's up to snuff on your standards. So I'll set that up for like a night or two from now, and we'll see what happens. All right?
All right.
I'll keep you posted.
And then they go busy themselves with the bar is kind of picking up at this point, now that everybody's arrived. There's the odd, there's a lot of familiar faces in here, let's put it that way. And what is everyone else doing?
I think Ali is, again, people watching, sort of sitting back, cigar lit up and smoking, just because he's gotten used to fire over the years, I guess. And you'll see him periodically scribble down notes in the notebook. And then eventually kind of gets up with a huff and he's like, goes up to Barker and he's like, I went to the border. I didn't find anything. I got a little hungry and out of my element, and I needed to step away a little bit. But I think there's information to be found about where these new kindred came in, where they came from, who sent them, or if they were here already. And since no one seems to know them, they have to be from somewhere else.
Well, I think we should get the gang together and have a sit down because I've got a theory or two after doing a bit of digging myself.
Hopefully you're more successful than me. I'm feeling some kind of way about it.
Maybe.
And I think Ali will then just go looking for the rest of the crew and be like, all right, it's time to go. Time to do the thing. Let's go. We got clues.
Clues are good. I agree. Let's go.
Hey, what's the plan?
Okay, so I went and talked to 3 different other clubs where our sorts hang out. And they all had fights. We were the only ones that, thank you, Mr. Elliott, that talked to them and convinced them to leave otherwise. The really interesting thing that crossed my brain was the fact that everyone assumed it was Camarilla against Anarchs because half of them were well dressed in suits and the other half were wearing leather jackets. Now, last I heard, neither the Camarilla or the Anarchs have a real uniform per se. So if I throw on a leather jacket, maybe people will assume that I am an Anarch.
And we're back. We had a little tech glitch there, but everything's fine. We are all good to go. And so everyone in the coterie is congealing. Yes, that is my pun of the day. In the cloak bar, and they're having a discussion about what is going on in the city. Proceed.
Congeal on the warmer nights. So yeah, at least 3 other bars. So if they had a dozen people like we did, that's like 4 dozen vampires. So I don't know where that's coming from with respect to the Anarchs. I don't know any of the baronies that are big. I'm wondering if it's the Sabbat trying something smart for a change.
Well, when was the last time they were through here? Because I don't even remember.
Yeah, we kind of pushed them out not that long ago.
Oh, right. There was that one. Okay. Yeah. That part I remember. Right. Well, I mean,
How long
isn't
ago
it
was
too
that?
soon?
I don't. For my
Storyteller.
how long ago was that, storyteller? For my
The
Toreador brain.
I was just actually typing that in the chat. That's why I was on mute. The Sabbat actually controlled Toronto for decades before this. It was about 2015-ish, give or take, that they were pushed out of Montreal, Toronto, and Mexico City.
Yeah, so a blip.
Oh, you're right. It wasn't that long ago.
And I know that they usually use shovel heads, but I mean, every now and then you get a smart one that tries something different.
Yeah.
Because I can't find any of these 3 dozen vampires or 4 dozen vampires showing up and then disappearing all in one night. It's not, there's a math here that's just.
It's not adding up.
No.
Between me and Cliff earlier this evening, between me and Barker earlier this evening, we couldn't find anything.
No,
Well, where did okay? So let's say your theory is correct, which it probably is. For all we like, I mean, it seems like this. It's something like what the Sabbat would do. Where did they used to hang out? Because I tried to keep my nose out of this shit. So, I mean, I don't even remember. Like, where did they tend to keep their base of operations? Maybe we should start like turning
Didn't
over
didn't
some
Drake
stones.
didn't Drake mention something about parts of like Scarborough or like the surrounding area previously that had to do with the Sabbat, or they were trying
Hmm.
to they were they had pushed away the Sabbat or something. I can't remember.
Storyteller, one more time.
Didn't Drake mention something uh
Just
previously?
just that they, as part of the 2015 thing,
Hmm.
they helped push out the Sabbat.
And which area? I remember
Pretty
mentioning
much all
something.
over the GTA.
Okay, so there wasn't a specific
Not really.
territory that.
Yeah, just sort of like
Okay.
they controlled the entire section.
I mean, I didn't come up above ground much back then. I just, took care of the ones that stuck their noses in down under.
I was in between here and New York most of the time. It was a dangerous place to be here.
Yeah.
In between
Yeah,
here
it
and New York,
was.
that puts you about Vermont,
I see what you did there.
Philadelphia, if you're going to go down instead of across.
It's a little bit curvature, but I see where you're going. I this seems if this is Sabat, they are playing a very interesting game. I think this is some subterfuge that is not really their area of expertise, from my understanding.
Yeah, they're not always the sharpest tulips in the flower bed.
And I mean, the necromancers, the those were the ones that tended to make this their home.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
know what
what
that
then?
means ultimately.
If not the Sabbat, then who? I mean,
Yeah,
some sort of
who's
rogue
got
faction?
who's got 50 kindred they can throw at a few? And I mean, this is just the three clubs that Ms. Chambers and I, got to visit between the two of us, plus this one.
Who would
There are probably
benefit from
another dozen clubs in the
destabilizing?
city worth like checking out. So I mean, that's a lot of dead bodies walking around.
Um,
Seem to be trying to destabilize the neutral grounds, it seems.
yeah.
They're the places where we hang out without a whole lot of worry.
Well, but I mean, here's the thing. They tried to convince us that the Baron and the Prince were the ones that sent them. So I don't think it's just the neutral grounds that they're trying to destabilize. I mean, they're trying to get somebody to pick a fight with the
Oh,
Baron.
absolutely. They're trying to destabilize both sects, but I don't get the benefit of it. That's
No. I mean, unless honestly, like, I mean, we have we have our two bartenders here who are just phenomenal and they're thin bloods, but they're not like the rest of their I mean, I wouldn't call them a clan. They're not like the rest of their kind. They these two seem to be pretty hardworking, keeping their noses down. But what about the
Oh,
rest of the thin bloods?
you think this is just the thin bloods trying to come together? Do they even have a history of working together like this? It seems very
Well,
unified. Aren't the thin
I
bloods
don't see
just
any reason why they wouldn't. I mean, the Camarilla brands them, and the Anarchs accept them as they wish. Sort of, kinda, depending on which Baron you talk to and how old they are. So, if it were me, or maybe one of you, wouldn't you think to band together as a community potentially?
I mean, I certainly would. Do we know if Thin-Bloods have had a history of banding together in this city? Are they just all over the place? Yeah.
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
from
every
what
uprising has to start somewhere, right? They've been, I mean, obviously I know why they've been mistreated, but fact remains they've been mistreated. Probably. I mean, my clan has a pretty strict, you know, outlook on this. They are going to bring about the second coming kind of thing, and destruction, Gehenna, all that stuff, right? But I'm of the mind that I haven't seen it yet. So maybe our hate, our disgust of the Thimblers is maybe a little misplaced. I don't know.
I maybe that's missing the forest for the trees or something along those lines. I
I'm just trying to make sense of the possibilities, I guess. It's one potential
so
problem, I
thin blood
guess.
shakedown. I could
I
go for
mean,
a thin blood shakedown.
I could I mean, I could hang out with some Thin Bloods and kind of vibe check their situation, if I can sniff out rebellion, a brewing rebellion or something.
I mean, it does make me uncomfortable when I find out there's some that can walk out in the daylight. That's incredibly strange.
Yeah, it's just unnatural.
Yeah.
With that, and they can eat like cheeses and drink wine, and that just makes me hungry.
Do you remember what that tastes like? I don't.
I don't. You know what? I don't remember what it tastes like, but the thought of it, for some reason, the thought of it, the thought of that, I remember the parties we used to throw. Oh my gosh, the
It's
food.
probably because it sounds expensive.
I mean, you're not wrong, but the parties we threw, oh my God. I mean, you should have seen some of the things that we got up to. Just no comparison. And the
So a
food was
Toreador and
spectacular.
a Ventrue walk into a bar.
Now,
Yeah,
now,
I kind of
now, now.
remember a good mutton, or there's still times I'd kill for a good boiled potato.
Okay. Um, so the question remains, what's the plan for this evening? Are we
Shake down some thin bloods.
we're gonna
If
we're
they
gonna we're gonna meet some Thin Bloods? Want me to go talk
yeah.
to them?
I mean, why not? What do we got to lose? Either that or we go to a church, maybe find some cultists, shake them down, take whatever they have in their pockets, and hope
Church
that the
people are the
Lasanda don't come
worst. They
after
make me
us.
want to punch their faces. Ugh.
Oh, you're not a big fan of the stained glass.
The stained glass is great. The cultists and their punchable faces,
Oh,
not so much.
it's the architecture, but the people
The
are the
architecture
people
is
who lose it.
great.
Okay, got it.
You know,
I
the
see what you're saying.
I don't know about you, but I'd like to stay further away from churches because there are other things. Oh, wait. I mean, those were vampires in our kindred, in our club and in the other clubs.
Hmm.
But who's to say that they didn't somehow get recruited by the SI? Now that's been a while since they've made a face here.
That's a
who
stretch for
in their
them.
right in their right minds would work with them?
That's
I
that's
That doesn't make
no.
sense at all. It makes
What if they didn't know they were working for them?
how would they mind control them though? Like how? Here's my question. They knew the prince. They knew a baron.
Yeah,
And
if
they
the
need to
SI were
lie on
playing
both of
games like
them.
that, they just go in and wipe them all out.
That's my vibe on it too. But maybe they've changed their playbook.
I'm just
Okay,
not I'm
so
just not
right
about
right
churches.
now, right now we suspect everybody.
It's
Yep.
true.
Pretty much.
Trust no
We've
one.
been trying to trim this down, and instead we've expanded the game field.
So let's.
So at this point, I don't know where to look.
We could start with the thin bloods. I mean, I would suggest we don't aggravate them too much when we're trying to turn over some rocks, just because we might actually cause them to start a revolution if they haven't started one already. If we start, doing some heavy interrogation.
So we
Thin Blood La
determined
Revolution on a t-shirt.
we
I
determined
don't want to
this.
see that. I don't want to see that.
We determined a scale of escalation. You put me in first, with the sweet talking and the socializing. Then, I'll tag someone else in if needed, if more juice is needed, like, maybe
Yes, I can literally set
Eloise
them on fire from the inside. It's fine.
Well, I mean,
I like that.
that's an option for, like, we're gonna come up with an escalation plan if things are needed, but
We
we
won't
start
kill
with
them
talking.
necessarily.
I mean, I could probably kill them if necessary, but that's not the point. The point is, we don't want them to revolt and have it be something we did. So
we don't get a super important one that they can make into a martyr.
Yeah, or we do find a super important one, but just be really nice.
Okay, let's do that.
We could do either one,
happy
or we could do
to talk.
both.
Are we?
¿Por qué no los dos? Yes.
Everybody just
Alright.
grab a thin blood and do something.
Storyteller, do we know where we would find some thin bloods? Is there any information that we have? Okay.
Yeah, there's several behind the bar.
Oh, come now. Do
I
we
would
know
use
where
them to
they're...
find more if we could.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay.
Not those thin bloods.
I feel so bad for them. I like those bartenders.
Listen, they're your employees. You can
Talk.
nudge or you could bully. Whatever works for you. You're adventurous.
All right. So you know what? Let me talk to them. Give me a second. Let's see what we can turn up. And Eloise is gonna walk over the bar and just flag down the bartenders for a moment.
I'm gonna turn on heightened senses to eavesdrop.
Yeah, what's up, boss?
So I have a question. Do you guys have? Is there a place where your clan hangs out? Because I was kind of interested in expanding my business horizons. I was just thinking, you guys are so great, and if every bar that you guys work is as good as this, based on the work you're doing, it might be something that I might be interested in, making a business venture out of. Is there a specific bar that you guys all hang out in usually?
Not really. We just kind of talk amongst each other every once in a while.
So you don't have any regular contact with each other?
I gotta tell you though, a lot of them are kind of jealous that we have this gig because there's a lot of pay that comes in for us.
I mean, that's fair. Well, maybe we should employ more of your kind here. Spread the goodwill.
Well,
it's good for business.
I already gave you the resume for.
Yeah.
I don't think she's a thin blood though.
Oh no. I think that she is something else. But good for business nonetheless. All right, well, and Eloise is Joanna the player and Eloise both hate to do this.
Time to use some of them dominate powers.
So Mesmerize.
Okay.
Is what I want to use.
Just look up them rules right quick.
Can I mesmerize more than one of them at once?
Unless you have mass manipulation, which is level 5.
Shit. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So I'm actually,
I can
before
make
I
one of
start,
the other ones go away if you need.
yeah. Well, what Eloise is gonna say is, so, um, Cassie, because I'm going to just make up a name right now.
Okay.
Cassie,
Hmm.
can you, uh, can you help out Ellie? He was looking to do something, and he mentioned it to me and totally forgot up until right now. But yeah, can you go over and talk to him for just a second? I think he has a task for you.
All right. And then she goes over to have a chat with Ellie,
Okay, and then Eloise is
which we'll deal
going
with
to,
in just a couple of seconds.
yeah, Eloise is going to use Mesmerize, which is dominate. What is it? Is it dominate and manipulation?
Yeah.
Dominate and manipulation. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
and I'm going to rouse my manipulation because I'm not taking any chances.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. Pass my rouse.
Alrighty.
That's 6 successes.
What are you saying to?
I'm saying, I know you know more than you're letting on. Where do the thin bloods hang out?
No, I don't know anymore.
Who does?
I don't know.
Who who do you have contact with in your clan of your kind?
Well, there's the other bartender, which is
Cassie.
Cassie.
Yeah, and who else?
There's a bunch of them, right? There's Artie. He's kind of a jerk. Sloane. She's okay.
Where do I find Sloane?
I don't know. I could probably just call her.
Please do that.
Okay. And you're getting the feeling, because this rarely happens, but you've done it enough times that when it does happen, you definitely notice your dominate command did not work, even remotely.
Oh, shit. Okay, so when Eloise notices this, Eloise is going to try to cloud memory for the last 10 minutes.
I mean, okay.
And hope.
Because I rolled 5 dice and 4 of them were crits. Yeah, I rolled 9 successes on that roll. This roll, on the other hand, I think you may have an advantage on. Yeah, that was like an amazing roll. I was like, holy shit.
Okay, so my dice pool for this is 9 dice.
Okay.
I take half, it's only 4.
If you take
but
half
I've
and
I've
4, you would power through, no problem. I
Okay.
rolled 2 successes on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I rolled 4 successes anyway, so it kind of doesn't really matter. All right, so Eloise is just going to wipe. Can she selectively just wipe the last 5 minutes?
Sure, but that'll wipe the fact that you just asked her to make a phone call.
Meh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't. Okay, but that's the thing. So she said okay to making a phone call, but she knows I was trying to do something stupid to her. So I don't want her to remember that her boss was doing something stupid to her.
She doesn't
I don't
seem to be bothered by it. She was just
Okay.
given the okay. Like, why are you telling me Like dominate wouldn't. There's no like beams that shoot out of your eyes or anything with
Well, no,
dominate.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like you're
But she
you're
knows that I'm acting
emphasizing
weird.
certain words, and she's like,
Yeah.
okay, like why are you
All right.
acting so weird?
This is okay. This is good. In that case, let's forget that I rolled that because that's not
Okay,
because clouding memory is not really necessary at this point. Ellie's just gonna go. Thank you. I appreciate it.
sure. And she's
All
gonna
right.
go and make a phone call.
All right. That's so weird. Eloise is gonna go back to the group.
I think that Diana is probably sitting with Ali, and if Barker's around, like and just hanging out and having a drink. So she'll
Yeah.
look up to Eloise and say, "How'd it go?"
Well, storyteller, is Cassie still with
Yeah,
Ali in the group?
Cassie would still be there. Like, Ali, did you want to talk to me about something?
Oh
Eloise
yeah, I
said,
needed some new Cuban cigars. My stock is running low, and I heard that you all had like an inside connection or something along those
right.
lines.
Yeah. Well, just it's the
Getting stuff
usual
across
price.
borders is a little bit funky, but
It's the usual price. You okay with it?
Wait, what is your usual price? Because I need to make sure that we're on the up and up.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
I got to
it's like,
connect down to Miami. That might be able to hook me up for a little cheaper. So
it's like $50 for a couple. I mean, the U.S. put the embargo on Cuba. We didn't.
you're not wrong. Let's do it.
All right. And then she goes off to, just as Eloise is walking up to the group.
Yeah, thank you for setting me up for that. I was completely unawares.
I
But
I I apologize, Ali. I honestly
that's
I
okay.
needed to get one of them alone. It was kind of like a last minute thing. I should have warned you. I really should have warned you.
It's okay. Did you get the
They don't
information you needed?
they say that they don't really have a one place where they hang out. And so I said, well, which thin bloods do you hang out with? Because I'm thinking maybe they just don't know much, these two. So Rebecca, which is the name that I'm going to give to the other bartender, just for your record, storyteller. So Rebecca has said that she's going to contact somebody named Sloan. And Sloan can get us in touch with people. We will see how that works out. In the meantime, I'm not really sure where else to go for information about the Thin Bloods.
Mm.
I have one more idea, and Barker can maybe back me up on this. We know all the places where we hang out, and those tend to be places that the Thin Bloods don't.
That's fair. So, process of elimination. All right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bar out here and places for the kind to hang out. However, think about it this way. The places we go to, we tend to let it be known through iconography or word of mouth or something along those lines, right? We always have a wealthy benefactor somewhere down the line. So if the Thin Bloods have a wealthy benefactor, maybe we can find them. Maybe it's one of your people being that wealthy benefactor. Wouldn't be that surprising, would it?
I have another idea. I
Okay.
hit it off really well with that one thin blood in Anarch Land in Scarborough. Maybe I could get a vibe check up there and see if Thin Bloods are starting a revolution over there. It would make sense since they're in close proximity with Anarchs.
Did you get a name?
Jocelyn. I remember.
Jocelyn. All right. And I'm wondering if we can find Jocelyn's number somehow.
I mean, I'm not really good with technology, but probably. Do they have like phone books or something?
Oh, right. Phone books. Probably not for cell phones. Like, I assume Jocelyn probably is. Oh, or maybe we can just call up the Bolorama and ask for Jocelyn?
I don't know. She didn't give me like employee vibes. She gave me like I hang out here vibes. So I don't know if we could actually call the place and look for her, but I mean it might be it might be an idea. We hit it off really well.
That's definitely a good thing for you. For us, we need to actually be able to get in contact with her. So I mean, we can try going on.
I can get contact information afterwards. I just,
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, my thinking is, are we going to go all the way out to Scarborough and have Jocelyn perhaps not be there tonight? Or are we going to find some other way of getting her number?
That's a good point. I mean, Ollie could probably figure it out.
Ollie
We
was
could
on
always
mute.
call the bar. We know the place. Or
Well, that's what I'm
bowling
thinking.
alley,
The
bowling
Bolorama?
alley. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could do that. Start there and see what happens.
All right, Diana, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, sure. I'll call up the I'll find them. I'll call up these Scarborough Bolorama.
Okay. It's easy enough to find the phone number for the Scarborough Bolorama. So it rings a few times. Then you hear, Scarborough Bolorama, this is Mark, Robinal 2.
Hi. So I was there just a few hours ago, and I was looking for someone. Do you know if Jocelyn is around? I wanted to touch base with her, but few drinks, everything just gets a little messy.
Well, yeah, hold on one sec. And then you can hear, like, it's kind of like a rustling across the receiver, like they're holding the phone, like, on their neck type thing, or it's brushing up against their shirt. Yeah, Jocelyn's not here tonight.
Oh, would you be able to tell me when she's gonna be in next?
I have no idea. She pretty much comes and goes as she wants.
I figured that much. Is there any way you could get me in touch with her? It would mean a great deal to me.
I mean,
I
I
had a
leave
great time the last.
message for her. Next time she's in, she could probably give you a shout.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. I will leave a cell phone number, and
Sure.
I'll just let her know that Diana was looking for her,
All right.
and that she had a great time a few nights ago.
All right, cool. Diana, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll leave a message for her.
Cool, thank you.
And it's at that point, once you hang up the phone call, that someone comes walking up to your table. And it is someone they're wearing like a suit. You haven't necessarily seen them before. You've seen them kind of in passing. You remember seeing them at Elysium. And they come walking up and they're going, I believe you are the coterie that was looking into things for the prince. And it's at that point we're going to take a bit of a break. So, come on back in about 7 minutes, everybody, and see what happens with this new person that they're being introduced to. Welcome back, everyone. And right before the break, they had someone stop off at their table in the sub basement of the Cloak Speakeasy to have a chat with them. And it is a tall man. He's not like huge, but he's definitely built, and he's got kind of slick back brown hair. And he is wearing a suit. It's not the absolute greatest suit, but it's not garbage either. It's definitely kind of like Moore's type suit. So he walks up and he's like, I understand you are all the people doing the search for the prince.
And you are?
I am Emmanuel Gabriel.
All right.
Would we know this person?
Give me let's go with intelligence and occult.
Ugh. I don't like that. I don't know. I don't know anything.
Or, let's see if there's an alternative.
I
Like in
no.
maybe etiquette. Let's
Intelligence and etiquette?
intelligence and etiquette, yeah.
Intelligence and occult.
And
I would like to.
the real star of the show is now here.
And I will.
One success. That is such a shit roll. If I took half, I would get more.
Oh,
I mean, that
damn.
actually did exist.
I don't know. I don't. Diane doesn't
I don't know
know
who this person
anything.
is.
Should I even bother trying?
How many is that, Cliff? I can't see. 4?
I got 4 out of 4 dice.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
Weird.
got 1 out of 5. Then I used willpower and got 0 for 3 on that one too. So I don't care.
So, for Barker, you've heard the name around? Kind of an up-and-comer of the Toreador? Doesn't quite have the... He's operating different social circles than Diana. That much you know. Like, he's more of the painting branch of the Toreador, whereas Diana is the singing and social branch of the Toreador.
Okay, so I don't really know him, but I know of him, kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of a, okay, yeah, maybe I've heard of you. What have you done status-wise lately? Other than fuck all. So yeah, Barker would know that this particular gentleman is a Toreador.
Okay, does your Primogen Derek know you're here?
No. In fact, that is part of the reason why I'm here.
I see. Okay. Well, anything that you got that would shove a stick up Wesley's nostril, I'm all for.
What
Diana invites him to sit.
What a coincidence. Same here. Is there somewhere else we could go? This is, let's just say there are ears everywhere. No offense.
Yeah, half the years down here are ours, but only half.
I suppose that's understandable.
Eloise is going to suggest what we could do is there are some of my cars that are parked in the underground. We could hop in one of them and have a conversation. Those have been searched for bugs by both Allie and Barker, and or at least I think they have been. I assumed that you would have searched my cars for bugs before you got into them. Or maybe not. Anyway, those will probably be better suited to our conversation.
Yeah, probably.
Unless-
Yeah, that seems
unless-
like a good idea.
Does anyone else have any other suggestions? Because I was going to say the back room, but depending on the kindred, they might be able to hear us in the back room. So,
I mean, depending on the kindred, they might be able to hear us pretty much everywhere, unless we have wards out the wazoo.
that's
Yeah, but the advantage with the parked car is you can pretty much see through the garage.
Exactly.
It's kind of hanging out where they shouldn't be.
Or, alternatively, we could take a bit of a drive. That'll cut down on who can hear us when.
Yeah.
That is true. We could take a little bit of a drive downtown. The financial district shouldn't be too busy this time of night. What does everybody say? Agreed?
I don't
Or
mind
not?
driving if you can keep an eye on this guy.
We can do that. Diana, Barker?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So Eloise is going to call one of her drivers and make sure that he's available to take them for a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, you would definitely have a driver on standby. So, they pick up, like, hello?
I'm gonna need. I think I'd like to have the stretch, and we're just gonna go for a little drive. Won't be long.
Right away. Will you be coming down to us, or should I bring it around front?
Why don't we have you bring it around front?
Understood.
All right. Friends, shall we?
After you.
Hmm.
And you
So-
make your way upstairs through the regular speakeasy, out through the front door, which is conveniently located in a bookshelf for the speakeasy. And you make your way out to the curb. Everyone, I'm assuming, piles into the limo. And the driver starts driving. So, the prince, I believe, was sending you around to the other supernaturals. Do I have my information correct?
Yeah, what do you know about that?
From what I've been hearing, that's a ruse.
And what makes you say that?
The conversations I've been having with various Toreador, various others in the kindred scene, the prince, from what I understand, wants you to be distracted.
Why is that?
They recognize that things in the city are kind of even. So they could... It would only take a few fairly powerful kindred, as I've heard that you are, to sway the balance of power in one direction or another. So the more various groups of kindred are distracted, the less chance they have of moving against the princeship.
Why would they think we'd go after the princeship?
Oh no, they don't necessarily think that any of you have designs on becoming prince. It's more a right now, from what I've been hearing, the Camarilla and the Anarchs are kind of in a, what's the best way of putting it? Kind of an influence war at this particular point in time.
They're at a bit of a standstill, aren't they?
They are.
So who's fabricating this conflict and, if I may be so bold, stirring up shit in neutral areas?
The conflict, I'm not sure on. The getting you out of the way thing is the only piece of this particular puzzle that I have, and the getting you out of the way thing is to, I guess, send you to various supernaturals in the city. And to be honest, from what I'm hearing, the prince may, in fact, have been kind of hoping that it would fail.
The prince wanted us to die.
Not necessarily die, but if some of your kind, your coterie had perhaps happened to expire, it probably wouldn't have broken her heart.
That's assuming she has one.
She probably has one, otherwise stakes wouldn't work, and then we'd be in a whole different fucking slew of mess.
And what's your motivation for bringing this to us?
Bingo.
Anything,
what are you after?
Anything that undermines the prince is probably a good thing at this point.
Why? You're Camarilla. And you've got to know we're neutral and we don't really give a shit about that sort of thing. But you're Camarilla, so the only reason you might want to have the prince undermined is because you wanted to put somebody new in power.
Oh, I don't want to put anybody new in power. I was actually sent here by the Ventru Primogen.
Toreador and a Primogen walked into, or Toreador and a Ventru walked into a bar.
Make that one make sense for me, please, because why are you working the Ventru Primogen?
Yeah,
It's not clicking for me right now.
We all work with different people. I mean, your coterie, for example, a Nosferatu and a Toreador working with a Ventru and a...
We don't talk about that. Don't worry about it.
I'm not sure.
Please, but I'm not a Primogen. None of us are Primogen. You're working with the head of a clan.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different than four friends going and trying to make the best of life. This is you working with yeah, very much so. This is you working with a Primogen of another clan on scheming against a prince in the Camarilla.
Yeah.
It has a lot more implications, is what
not even
Eloise is saying.
It's not even us scheming against the prince. It's the prince scheming against you that I am informing you of.
What do you have to gain from informing us, besides maybe the possibility that we might rock the boat and undermine the prince? Is that really all you're after?
That's more of a bonus than anything.
So then, why don't you just answer the question and tell me what's in it for you?
Well, for starters, I would assume, minorly speaking, that if you were, to cease chasing your tails, as they say, it would probably be good for you.
We want to we understand what's good for us. What we want to understand is what's good for you.
I would assume that you would owe me one, minorly.
Yeah.
You should have actually brought that part up before you let us know that we were being screwed. I'm just saying that usually the boon thing works where you actually get the boon organized and signed off on before you start giving out information.
Now you have no leverage, and negotiating doesn't work so well.
Now, would this be a boon for you or for the Primogen?
Obviously for me. I'm the one bringing the information.
Oh, really? That's really interesting. Storyteller, I assume
Yeah.
Eloise would know who the Primogen for the Ventru is, even though she's not Camarilla, but she'd know who he is or she is, or they are. So Eloise would probably have this person on speed dial.
Yeah, it's Tristan Laxman.
Tristan Laxman. Okay. So Eloise is going to, while they're all talking, going to just speed dial Tristan and try and talk to him.
Can I try to discern this guy's motivation?
Sure.
Maybe like
I was thinking
roll
the same
some
thing
insight.
because I even have a specialty.
That would be
Insight motives.
wits and insight.
Cool.
All right.
That's one success.
He seems on the up and up. Just wait. Let's see what Allie's roll comes up with the specialty.
It's like
Everybody's
it's a
like
big number, hopefully. I like big numbers.
So I crit, that is 2 or 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
7 successes.
Nice.
I did
Yeah.
low willpower though.
This guy seems like a bit of a putz, but he's an honest putz.
And I just lean over to Eloise and I'm like, this guy's a fucking idiot. But he's a nice idiot. And y'all should probably get rid of him as soon as possible, because if he doesn't know how to flex on how to get a boon, this is a terrible person to have around your clan.
No. Okay. I'm about to call Tristan, our Primogen, would you like me to continue, or do you think that this isn't even worth bringing to the Primogen's attention? What do you think, Allie?
We have him under the gun.
I'm
He's giving us
gonna.
every bit of leverage he has.
Can I would I have a way to contact the Toreador Primogen? We're all just snitching on this guy.
Yeah.
I just
you would.
I was just gonna.
This poor fellow.
Does Barker want to call the Nosferatu Primogen while we're just making phone calls to our Primogen?
I don't have a Primogen.
Yeah, pretty sure there's no Salubri Primogen hanging around right
Slide into his DMs because that feels more like the style. I'm just considering if it's been worth it.
So while you're considering, Eloise, are you placing the call?
Well, what was the verdict from talking to Ollie? Does it seem like this is a good idea, or?
I don't think we need to involve a Primogen, but if you do, then have at it.
Well,
but if you involve the Primogen, you're probably going to get this guy killed because he's an idiot.
Emmanuel, right?
Yeah.
How How much is your unlife worth to you at this point?
I'd say it's pretty high up there.
Okay, so how about I don't call the Primogen? And you owe me a boon.
I would disagree with that. Feel free to call the Primogen.
Oh, really? Because I'm pretty sure that with what you're trying to pull off, which is get a boon for yourself instead of for the Primogen, Tristan probably wouldn't be very happy with you.
Well, I suppose there's only one way for you to find that out, isn't there?
Ooh, you're calling my bluff. Aren't you just a darling, darling, sweet, dumb asshole? Eloise is going to call the Primogen.
It rings a few times. Hello?
Tristan, Eloise Trent here. How are you?
So I see my particular contact has made it to you then.
Well, your particular contact seems to be wanting to get boons for himself, which is a little bit disturbing. The fact that he's working for you is also a little bit disturbing. Do you care to join us on this ride that we're on right now?
How is that disturbing?
You know as well as I do.
Are you questioning me?
Oh, I'm not questioning you.
Good.
I'm saying
Give the
the
man his
fact that
boon.
you give the man his boon? For what? He hasn't done anything.
Did he give you information?
Yes, he gave me information after wanting the boon.
And he hangs up.
Tristan, that's not how this works, and you know it.
The line is dead.
Eloise isn't going. Eloise, given that Eloise is not Camarilla, Eloise is going to consider this for a night, but Eloise is not going to right off the bat agree to a boon unless the rest of the coterie agrees to a boon.
That's fair.
So Eloise says this to the three coterie members. So Tristan seems to think that we owe this putz, as Ali calls him, a boon. I don't agree. And given that I'm not officially a member of the Camarilla, I don't really care what Tristan thinks of me, but they might be a dangerous enemy to have. So it is up to you all whether or not you want this putz to have a boon, because it affects all of us. What say you?
How about you take a card and I give him a card, and the card is literally just a scrap of paper with the a burner number on it, and I'm like, we'll get back to you.
All right.
You know where to find us.
And I'm assuming it's at that point you just kind of stop the vehicle, let him get out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
He gets out.
I'm sure he'll find a way.
How late at night is it exactly?
It's been a few hours since sundown, so it's probably getting close to about midnight-ish, roughly.
Okay, so Eloise is going to assume that her driver will have known that these sorts of things somehow end badly often, and that her driver would have taken a drive around the Portlands and dropped our friend off somewhere near Cherry Beach.
Okay.
At this time of night.
That's fair.
That could have gone a little better, but could have gone worse too.
What I don't understand is why the frickin' Ventru Primogen is
he's
it's
clearly,
ridiculous.
He's clearly just using the putz, an out of clan putz, as an expendable. you know, no matter what happens to that guy, not a Ventru, not a problem technically. Um, Probably said he could negotiate for a boon to get the guy to cooperate in the first place. Um,
You never
I don't know.
start
It
giving
seems like a
away
very
all of your information, though. Where did you
well,
learn from?
that's true, but it seems very like what I would imagine to be Ventru standard practice. Keep your hands off, keep your hands clean.
I mean, we try, but this seems a little bit out of bounds.
I'm not going to stress this too much. I suppose if we get everything we need and we're still alive, we can deal with it then.
Absolutely.
We do
Next
have
steps?
we do have new information now, which is useful.
It's true.
Have a few hours till sunrise. What do we do next, Barker?
Turn over some more stones, maybe? Try and find out what's. Do we have any other leads on Thin Bloods or anything that's happening? Because I don't know. It seems like maybe we don't want to go that supernatural route.
Assuming that's true, and I don't know how safe that assumption is, but assuming that's true, then it'd be a waste of time to continue down that route. However, it's not entirely turned out bad for us. We managed to talk to the shape changers with no real drama or danger. But I don't think that's worthwhile for our focus going forward.
So, what is our
But that
focus?
means we need to start investigating what the shit is going on with the prince and why we got lied to and why they thought it was okay for us to be played and to be basically pushed out of the picture.
Well, where do we start then? Because I'm running out of ideas. This whole thing is a little bit too, I'd say smelly, but it seems like there's too many layers here going on. And as complicated as vampire politics usually are, kindred politics usually are, this is just a little bit weirder than all that.
I, I'm trying to process this, and I am struggling because clearly the your primogen Eloise wanted us to have this information and sent someone to give it to us. Um, hmm. I'm wondering if,
I have a play. I don't know how you'll feel about it.
well, I was wondering if it would be worth having a private one-on-one discussion with the Toreador primogen, not about our friend in particular, but just like, I don't know. I feel
That's
like
one move. But we could go
it's
to the Anarchs and tell them exactly what's going on. If they want to
okay.
fuck us, we can fuck them harder.
We
That
could.
is that is absolutely correct. However, that's going to put our neutrality in question. And I don't know if certain people are comfortable with that. And she looks to Eloise specifically.
Oh, I'm comfortable. They broke neutrality. They're trying to fuck us. I'm okay with that. He's not my primogen. I mean, he knows that I only work for the Camarilla when I need to or when they need me. I I haven't dealt with Camarilla parties or any shit like that in decades. I just try not to. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing.
I'm good with not being neutral right now because I'm sick of being fucked. Not good for business.
No, that's true. does make it challenging to play both sides. But I mean, we could just play both sides against each other. That could be fun too.
That's what they're already doing, whoever it is
Yeah,
that's
but
doing this.
yeah, that's true. But I mean,
Well, any
They
other
put us in a
ideas?
position where we have to make this move, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm open. I'm open to other things. I
yeah, well,
realize the danger.
I just, it's a risk to all of us, and I'm not 100% comfortable with pulling the trigger on it right, like the idea of it right now. But I understand options are limited. Barker?
Yeah. What?
Oh, I was just looking for your opinion. You're the only
I
one
got
that had
nothing.
spoken of.
I really, honestly got nothing. I'm not even sure what I saw.
That's absolutely fair.
Honestly. Okay, so a guy comes to us and brings us information. Is it information of value to us?
I don't know if it was. Honestly, that's why I don't understand the boon.
Well, and that's the thing. Last I checked, you negotiate this kind of stuff. We might have just pissed off somebody else in the Camarilla. I don't know. You know,
How?
is the prince gunning for us? I don't know. How do we find out? I don't know. Is going to the Anarchs the right move? I'm pretty sure
Well,
that's not.
there it is.
That's where I'm out
That
because
right,
where it is.
I stand on the neutrality. If they're going to
That's
screw us, yeah, we can throw hands.
but we
that's
don't
what
have
I'm
to
looking
screw
But
for.
I'm
hands.
yeah, we don't. You know,
That's fair. Barker, you've got a point.
yeah.
That's what I'm
So I
looking
mean,
for.
all I got is we haven't talked to the shape changers. We talked to one who was going to get us in touch with some more. All I've got is we go talk to the shape changers and follow through on this, and that at least takes us back to the prince with something to take on a platter that potentially gives us something, even if she's trying to do this to mess us around. We still got something on her, and we're back in court where we can poke the bear with a stick if we really want to poke the bear with a stick. You know, other than that, I got nothing besides, you know, waking up tomorrow
I
night
won't
and
argue
going
with
back
that.
to work.
Seems fair. Let's
That I
go
just
back to
wanted
the puppies.
I just wanted to get Barker's input.
Yeah,
Um,
I try not to be too complicated. I mean, Ms. Trent's got it right. Kindred politics. It's like a 7-layer dessert. It's you never know what you're going to bite into when you go, you know, down another layer or two. So I don't know from that, but you know, all I was looking at was, okay, is this information important to us? Is it worth the paying for? I don't know. Is this a power play by the veteran Primogen to get us to go after the prince, which will mess things up, and then they can step in? I don't know. You know, could be lots of things going on here.
Indeed.
Well, one thing I do remember is her when the prince's who was it the prince who was it that came in first? It's the first night. It was
Oh, Samson?
Samson. When
Yeah, that big
Samson,
walking wall of brick. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Samson already had some, like, I called him out jokingly saying that it sounded like mutiny, but he already had some questions about whether or not what the prince was doing was right. What if we might be dealing with a full-on mutiny here, in which case Barker is probably on the right path. We probably don't want to get involved in a full-on mutiny.
No, I spent enough years sticking my nose underground and fighting things. I'm enjoying the relative peacefulness currently of the current balanced situation.
I got no arguments with it. It makes sense to
someone
me.
someone is highly motivated in trying to throw off the balance that
Oh,
we
there
all
it's
enjoy.
it's always someone's what
We need to
wants to
get
rock the boat.
well, we need to get we need to pinpoint where that's coming from if we want to maintain this balance that we all enjoy.
And I mean, finding out where those packs of kindred who are all about scrapping in the clubs, I got nothing more on them, where they could be coming from. I don't know. We poked around a bit.
I really feel like that's the key, but we just keep missing
Indeed.
pieces of the picture, and it frustrates me, and it makes me want to go punch a mortal or something. I don't know.
I mean, if you want to punch a mortal, whatever.
Storyteller, quick question. Eloise still hasn't heard anything from our friend from the previous night that was supposed to get us more information for a
Nothing
price?
yet.
Ooh, okay. Well, we don't have a supernatural route to go down. I mean, our contact hasn't called us back yet. So, I mean, what's the play here? What are we gonna do to start taking chunks out of this? Out of the supernatural thing, out of the fighting thing.
I don't know, but we have some hours left in this night. I wish I knew what the play was.
Maybe the play is the obvious one. We just go shake people down.
All right.
Which ones specifically, Ali?
Whoever.
Like a few one-on-one visits, some discussions.
Yeah. You go to, some of these clubs that are frequented by the cam or frequented by the anarchs, and you start asking questions and you poke a little bit. And the way I've always seen it is, if you poke and you start getting close, somebody comes finding you or you find them.
You got something there, because while we were checking out downtown clubs, we were looking for faces, didn't see any. Well, these were all the clubs where the faces showed up to cause that little fracas. They're the neutral clubs. I mean, we should probably go check out a couple of cam or anarch clubs or something and see if we see the faces there. Yeah, you know what? I hadn't even thought of that.
Do you guys have a leather jacket I could borrow? Sorry. I'm just I'm just thinking, if I'm gonna go hang out with some anarchs tonight, might need to dress the part.
No.
Oh.
You might dress the part, but you don't wear the part.
I can fake it better than most of my kind.
Well, what night of the week is it, Storyteller?
It is Saturday night,
All right.
if I have that correct.
Just watch.
And Changeling Storyteller, what night at Dance Cave is Vampire Night? Was that Friday? Do I remember? Okay.
Oh, Friday.
So
yeah, then it's Friday night.
What was Saturday? Okay, so you're making so retconning it's Friday night. Okay.
Yeah.
Official retcon right here.
Okay. All right. So perhaps Dance Cave? I mean, we may not fit in entirely, but we won't entirely stand out. I mean, it is our kind there.
Yeah, sure.
I'm down.
Good a place as any to start.
All right.
I mean, we're not exactly planning on going in here and becoming BFFs with anyone, so
No.
See what happens.
All right. Um, driver.
Hmm.
Fred. I'm going to call him Fred. Fred. Um, can you take us up on Bloor, Dancecave, please?
Yeah. All right.
All right. And then, you know what? Hey, you don't have to hang around, but just keep your phone on. We'll call you when we're ready.
All right. So it
All right.
takes not a massive amount of time to get from where you dropped what's his name off, because he was heading kind of back in that direction anyway, back northward from Cherry Beach to where the cloak is located. So it's just a quick detour up University onto Bloor, which takes you to Dance Cave. And since Joe pulled the Changeling Storyteller in, I honestly can't remember what the outside or the inside of Dance Cave looks like because it's been a while. So, Changeling Storyteller, what does Dance Cave look like?
Dance Cave is a highly decorated, graffitied frontage with a
Now I
couple of
remember. Okay.
yeah, a couple of large doors that go into the main area on the ground floor. That is where a lot of concerts happen, stuff like that. And then there's the side door where there's generally on Friday nights a doorman named Dennis, stocky guy built like a fire plug, bald, mustache, beard, usually in a leather jacket. And you go upstairs and it goes into a large cavernous second floor room with almost like the top of a barn with high ceilings, a bar running along the right hand side, booths on the left, and tables scattered around with a slight rise before a stage area, which is where most of the dancing happens.
And if I remember correctly, the DJ booth is over to the left once you come
Yep,
in.
back
Yeah,
left corner.
back left corner. Okay. Now I remember. I've only been there like once.
It's
I
memorable.
spent
Once
too
is all you
much
need.
time. I spent
And
too-
it being a Friday night, there is a fairly sizable crowd in Dance Cave.
I roused for mask again, so I just looked like a standard club goer. Succeeded.
You look like you fit right in this cave of weirdos. So what is everyone else doing? There's a the music is not supremely overwhelming, but it's loud enough that you would have to at least raise your voice to be heard amongst your compatriots. And there's a bunch of different groups that are milling about. There's people who are like cutting their way through the crowd to get over to the bar to uh, throw money essentially at the bartenders to get more drinks. It seems like a pretty good vibe tonight.
I am going to sense life and death from the first person I see that just looks ever so slightly, maybe, vampiric. And I'm
All
pretty
right.
good at sussing this sort of thing out.
Give me a roll.
I will give you that in one moment. Just getting my dice pool together.
What are the rest of you doing?
Um,
Go ahead.
I think.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna go in and just act like a standard club goer, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if I necessarily look the part in a little black dress.
It's
I don't match the vibe exactly, probably.
it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
It's the standard kind of club low lighting. There's kind of lasers. There's a smoke machine going, so you can see like the lasers going through. It's the loud music. People are yelling and drinking with each other. It seems like a standard kind of club type situation. How did that roll go, Ellie?
6 successes.
What does that do specifically if I didn't have that particular Sabbat book open in front of me?
So I focus on an individual for a moment, studying their mannerisms and appearance while opening up myself to their sense of life and death. A success allows me to see how many health levels they have. 2 lets me see their current health. 3 lets me see their level of hunger and any illnesses or diseases that they currently have. And above that is basically storyteller discretion, what else I'd know. But
All right.
yeah.
I'm going to kind of throw this one on its head a little bit. The first person you see that seems like they don't necessarily belong among the humans is a large African American bald man. And you use sense life and death on them, and you get, they seem to be like at full health.
Mm-hmm.
They are not at all hungry, like zero. Like it's, if they were a vampire, they'd definitely drain somebody completely. But the sense that you're getting from them is that they are not a vampire. You've never actually sensed anything like this before. This is something completely and utterly different from anything you've experienced.
Something else. Fantastic.
And that particular person is making their way, and they may kind of climb up into the DJ booth.
Interesting. Oh, I'd definitely bring that back to the party. Because I'm feeling a little thrown off by this. I don't know what this is.
All right. Eloise is kind of just leaning up against the bar after they've come in, kind of just observing and looking around. So if Allie were to come up to her, she'd be not engaged in conversation with anyone.
All right.
And I'm like, that one's real strange. Like, real strange. Not a vampire or one of us. Something different, but something that still has an essence, a hunger to them as well. It's odd.
Interesting. Storyteller, can I roll to see if Eloise knows anything about this? She doesn't have much in occult, but she does have intelligence and things like that.
Sure. That'd be. Let's go with intelligence and occult.
Okay.
The difficulty on this is going to be amazingly high.
And that is why I'm going to rouse my intelligence and hope for the best. I passed my rouse check, so I'm going to add
everybody's
2
passing
to
the
my
rouse
pool.
checks tonight. What's
Yeah.
going on? Well, I guess everybody kind of failed at the beginning. A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I might have drained someone after that, so I'm feeling pretty good.
6 one, half dozen of the other, you know? This sounds like a roll. This roll is brought to you by our merch shop. Go over there.
I burned a willpower. I only have 4 successes.
You have no idea.
Yeah, I figured.
Like, he kind of has mannerisms that may be vampiric. Like, there's the odd thing you can see on this particular person that, like, there's the odd, not necessarily like twitch of them, like moving really like unnaturally, but there's the odd time where you're like, yeah, that doesn't really seem like a human thing to do.
I have no idea, Allie. This doesn't seem like anything I've ever
So
encountered.
odd.
Yeah, like I
I
know
want to know
this.
more.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I know this
ask him
club's.
questions.
Yeah, I know this club does like the vampire things, but this doesn't seem like one.
What is everyone else doing?
I have a question about this place.
Sure.
Diana, could Diana kind of discern uh, if there's like etiquette or some like protocol for vampires here? Like how this place works?
Sure.
Would can she figure it out?
Let's go
Um,
with a. This would probably be a streetwise roll. So it'd probably be. Let's go with wits and streetwise.
cool. I would like to rouse, and I get hungrier.
Nice. About time.
I still get the 2 dice, correct?
You still get the 2 dice, yeah, regardless of whether or not you succeed or fail. But you hear, like, Diana, why are you going after this particular person? Just let them be. There's a beautiful one over there. While the one that you're looking at is beautiful, you're
I
not
know.
sure what he is. That one over there
I
is
just
clearly human. Go and eat
I
that
know.
one.
I'm gonna grab a bit of a bite, a little bit of a midnight snack, but I just gotta solve this one problem. Have I ever let you down? Have I
Yes,
ever left you hungry?
constantly.
Wow, this relationship is toxic. Okay, listen, I'm gonna get some business done, and then we're gonna eat. That's it.
All right, fine. Fine.
Oh, dope. That's 3 successes for that streetwise roll.
Okay. For that, you know that Dance Cave in particular is minorly like it's neutral ground, but it's more neutral ground than what you're used to at the Cloak Bar. The Cloak Bar is there's the upstairs, which is anybody can show up. It doesn't really matter. The sub basement of the Cloak is kindred and ghoul only, but it is neutral, at meaning any of the sects can show up, and as long as you don't start shit, nobody's gonna start shit with you. Dance Cave, on the other hand, seems to have only a specific day that kindred are allowed, and they're not allowed to show up at any other day.
Okay.
They have Fridays, and that's it.
And could I kind of discern if there is a specific spot that we're supposed to be as kindred, or we're free to mingle? Like, what is the protocol? Do they have an upstairs downstairs situation like we do?
You seem, yeah, it's all just one big cavernous area. The only upstairs is, I believe, a raised part near the back, kind of where you came in. But other than that, it just seems like everybody is intermingling with everybody.
And
Doesn't seem to be any like segregation of like, okay, the kindred go over here and then the humans are over here. It just seems like everybody's talking with everybody.
But Fridays are specifically the only time we're allowed in here.
Yes, kindred are not allowed any other day other than Fridays.
What is the play? I'm gonna go back to where Eloise and Ollie are hanging out.
Okay.
And I'm gonna like think about it for a minute, and then I say, so this seems to be the only night we're allowed to hang out here. What do you think we should do? Like, I'll say, like, I guess I don't really have to be discreet, and the music's really loud, so I'll just, say it out loud.
We should make the most of being here. I mean, if it's the only night that we're allowed, then we should definitely get our shit in order. Allie has basically discerned that the DJ is something else. And by something else, I mean, we don't know what he is.
From what I understand, so from what I understand, we're only allowed in here tonight, Friday nights, and it's usually just humans. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. So, I mean, if they're not human, stands to reason they might be one of us.
We don't think it's one of us.
Hmm.
Allie's pretty sure he's not one of us.
Definitely
and he's not a human.
Nope. I would maybe ask around and see if people know him, what they know about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I know the etiquette around here? Is this like Elysium, where it is a no flex zone?
If that's the case, I've already fucked up.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it, man.
Well, like with the quote unquote no flex zones, like perception abilities are pretty much generally accepted, so you wouldn't have fucked up on that one. But sorry.
No, I'm just wondering more for, Diana, who likes to turn it up.
That would probably be
Daunt. Ooh, bad.
That would
that's what I was wondering about specifically.
Most likely wouldn't generally be accepted.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, because Diana cares about these things.
Yeah.
Don't want to offend people you're visiting, you don't walk into their house and break their rules and their valuables and shit. I am gonna, however, start to mingle and just casually ask about the DJ.
Okay.
Oh, the music's great. What do you know about this guy?
Oh, that's Ozaze. He's great. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh man, I really love his music. And I will kind of where anything more about him? Is he a house DJ? What is he here all the time? What's his deal?
I think he moves from club to club, but yeah, Fridays is generally him here. Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's great. He's one of the few DJs, there's a couple. There's Dwight. He doesn't really play here, but yeah, Dwight's really good. And there's DJ the Elf. He's pretty good. Most of the other DJs can't DJ for shit in Toronto. It's weird.
Yeah, it's almost magical the way he puts these beats together.
Yeah, he's really good at mixing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to think. I don't want to out myself.
You don't want to be
really hard.
What the fuck is he? Is he a vampire? Are you
I mean, that wasn't the play I was going for, but I was thinking it, sure. And then, yeah, no, I'm just gonna ask around, get a vibe check on this guy from different people and what they think of him.
It's kind of all the same kind of responses. It's kind of oh yeah, DJ Ozaze is really good. Yeah, he's good at mixing. But then you can't quite get over to the next part of the conversation. Nobody's actually yeah, that guy's not human. No, there's none of that. It's just sort of yeah, he's really good. You should always come to his nights.
So while all of this is going on, and they're kind of over in that corner, Barker's going to kind of kick up Sense the Beast so that he can get a feel for who's what and drift through the crowd, primarily looking for any familiar faces from the scrapping crowd from the night before.
Give me a wits and let's go with animalism.
Yeah, I'll do that. Oh, yeah. Heck yes, I'll do that.
For sense what the fuck. Oh, sorry, it was resolve and animalism.
Yep.
Versus their composure and subterfuge.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to blow willpower because it's later in the night. That is a good basis upon which to roll the other three. And yes, indeed. So that gives me a solid 6 successes with a double crit.
Well, that probably beats this dice pool entirely. So, we're going to go like this. Alright. Yeah, you beat his too. So, you're wandering through the crowd. There's like the odd, you're getting kind of a sense over in this direction. Somebody who's kind of like leaning up against the thing, talking to a mortal. You kind of, not zoom, just kind of like coast around them a little bit so you can see their face. It's not somebody from the other night. There's another couple. There's actually 2 people sitting in a booth over on the other side. They're definitely vampire, but they're not anybody you're looking for. You look up at the DJ booth and you're like, holy shit. That is something that is not human. And then it almost gets away from you, but somebody crosses in front of you when you're like looking up at the DJ booth and you recognize them from the other night, and they are a vampire.
Suit, leather jacket. What do they look like?
You remember them being in a suit, but tonight they're wearing a leather jacket.
Okay, so keep a half eye on them. Drift up to the DJ booth, have a little chat, and then kind of drift towards, keep an awareness where this guy's, and then drift towards where the rest of the coterie is hanging out against the bar. Amongst the coterie. And just kind of like glide up and go, okay, I saw one of our friends who visited the cloak the other night. And just kind of like nod towards the guy over there, leather jacket. Past the first 2 in the leather jackets, the third guy in the leather jacket.
What do we want to do with him?
Make him come to us.
We can't. How? If we use. It doesn't feel right to use those things here.
Yeah. No. We don't play games here, okay?
Yeah.
This is not a place for playing. This is not exactly Elysium. It runs by its own rules. Rule number 1 is we don't play games here.
Otherwise.
Because if you play games here, the word is you get shut down hard.
Fair. So, Ellie, you were saying we try something else? Make him.
You think you can convince him otherwise? I'm making a suggestion because we may not have a lot of other options.
Fair.
And that is as subtle as we probably have the opportunity to get.
All right. Suggestions on how we convince him to come with us?
So these are one of the guys. These are one of the guys who came to the speakeasy that wanted to start a fight.
Yeah. He was wearing a much nicer suit then. He was a Camarilla. Now, this place does tend to be kind of cam central. But you'll still get all kinds in here. I mean, I've had more than a few good nights here. I've got a friend who comes on another night here and kind of meet in the middle sometimes. She's a weird little library girl. So, but yeah, what I'm thinking is, two of us wait by the door, and one of us just goes over and says, we really need to have a chat because there's only one way out. He bolts for it. You're at the door to follow him out down the stairs and catch him in the street. Or heck, does he even make it to the street? He trips down the stairs. Oop, oh, darn. Once, as far as I know, it's up here. You don't get to play funny business. You get to the stairwell, you're pretty good.
Well,
whatever the staff here, and by staff I mean the big bald guy, doesn't see, don't. The little bald guy downstairs too. So the stairwell, you can kind of sometimes get away with shit.
All right. Well, how about we have two of us go down halfway down the stairwell so that if he tries to bolt, we can stop him.
Well, I was thinking by the door to the stair, because this way, if he decides to talk, you could come join the talk. If he decides to bolt, then we're sandwiching him.
All right.
So what's the play here? Do you want me to go talk to him?
Well, I think just two of us should go over and say, we would like to have a chat with you.
All right.
Do you want me to turn it up to a flirty side, or do we want a serious business scare this guy?
I trust you to make the whatever decision seems to be.
I would just say go over and say, look, we need to have a little chat with you about the common business interest, period. End of sentence. Nothing fancy. No playing games. And then if we can get him to the stairwell or outside, then Ms. Trent can maybe take a little stroll through his brain and convince him that he wants to talk.
Fancy.
I wasn't suggesting anything fancy. I just thought maybe I could use my natural talents to elicit a response based on what you guys want to do. Nothing fancy, of course.
How about two of you do that? Maybe you and Allie, and maybe Barker and I wait by the door, and you give us a thumbs up if he decides to start talking. And if he doesn't decide to start talking, we'll probably see him bolting.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can, just signal to us that, we should
signal, and we'll see about grabbing an empty booth or something, because, again, we don't want to be too obvious.
Yeah. Is that okay with you, Diana and Allie?
Yeah. We'll just,
all right.
We'll take the business
I'll
angle.
go over and try to not look like a cop.
Yeah. You'll be fine, Allie. You'll be fine.
I mean, good luck.
I mean, I honestly don't know that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind cops. That's a me thing. We don't need to talk about that. I am going to approach this guy, the leather jacket guy.
Yep.
Leather jacket guy. I am going to I'm going to do that thing where I'm speaking loudly, but like trying to lean over and I'm going to say, "Hey, I saw you the other night. You were in one of my favorite spots. I think we should talk. We might have some business interest in common."
Which spot?
The Clout. I performed there, so I saw you, and then I remembered I wanted to talk to you, but I was busy. Stage.
Wanted to talk to me about what?
We have some common interest. I've got why don't we get a booth and sit down and have a conversation? Because music's really loud. And I will do a thing where I'm going to point, hopefully I will point to a booth, or like a table or something, like a booth or something. And then hopefully Eloise and Barker will also see it so that they can head over that way as well.
Yeah.
And do that. And that way, yeah. And hope that they end up at that booth when we eventually like when I'm not like rushing him to get there, like you kind of do that dance your way towards the table thing, so it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like super fast, so everyone else has time to get there.
Yeah, eventually you make your way over there.
Uh-huh. And did everyone make it there?
Is everyone going there?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, you all make it over there.
Um, and I say, Buddy over here likes to frequent the cloak. Y'all know him, right? And
No. I don't know
and
anyone.
I look at Eloise and Ollie and Barker and just like,
You're muted.
you're muted.
Yeah. Eloise is sitting at the edge of the booth,
Okay.
closest side towards the door, because she wants to make sure if this guy starts bolting, that she and potentially Barker or whoever can catch him before he goes.
If he sat in the booth, Barker's just going to slide in beside him. There's no way you get out of that
Perfect.
booth fast.
Okay.
There is no
Yeah,
bolting.
Yeah,
That is perfect.
unless
All
you
right.
like potence and tear the table out type thing.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
other than that, you're
Yeah, let's sandwich him. Okay. I heard a little bird told me that you got an order from the prince to come into our neutral cloak and make sure that nobody stirred up shit. Now, my question is, did the prince tell you that directly, or did somebody else tell you that?
well. I don't know who this prince guy is, but nobody. There was no prince. I mean, he's a good singer.
Wait, storyteller, isn't this the guy that was the
Yep.
oh,
So I'm going to catch his eye, and I'm going to quell the beast.
Okay. Quell the Beast. Nope, that's celerity. Don't need that.
No, I'm not doing it quickly. I'm taking my time.
while he's doing that, Eloise is turning to Ellie and saying, it sounds like somebody's fucked with his head.
Because
Stamina.
quelling the beast should
How do
allow
we know?
Eloise better access for dominate, because he can't rouse, he can't, there's a whole lot of stuff he can't, he becomes very compliant.
Versus his stamina and resolve. Oh, wow. Okay, I think you won.
Oh yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes.
Yeah.
Cost me a willpower, but worth every penny.
That's about 6 more than you needed.
Dang, I didn't need to blow the willpower. Oh well.
You did not.
Okay.
Right,
so he
so-
just gets very kind of down. He's like,
So I am rousing my manipulation. I passed the rouse check.
okay.
Because this is going to probably be the same scene. Eloise is going to turn to the group and say, should we take him outside, or at least in the stairwell, so we can do some things, so to speak?
Now, if you're just gonna like pick at its brain and do the, then here's fine.
I mean, yeah, I just don't. Oh, well, yeah, maybe we can do that. All right, so Eloise is going to use Mesmerize, which may be absolutely useless in this case, but we'll see.
After he got Quelled the Beast, yeah, probably not so useless.
It's manipulation and dominate, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we got a bigger opening into his mind now.
Yes, yes, we
Offensive
do.
lineman created a hole for the running back to run through.
I mean, I have a nine dice in my pool. If he's done Quell the Beast, do we even need for me to like? Can I take half?
Yeah, you could probably beat him with just half anyway. Like,
All right.
even if he scored all crits.
Okay, perfect. So we'll just do half then. I'll take half of that roll or that dice pool. And Eloise is going to look at him and say, who sent you to the cloak and dagger or the cloak bar? Cloak speakeasy.
And then he kind of looks at you really slowly. Wesley Derrick.
And we know who Wesley Derrick is?
That's the Toreador Primogen.
Toreador Primogen.
Yep.
WD-40.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Avio.
He sent you. Did he send you on behalf of the prince, did he say?
I don't know who. Yeah, like, Purple Rain was good, but I don't know. I don't recall, like, Prince.
Who do you
involved.
usually work for? When did
Wait,
you
is
come
Prince
to
a
Toronto?
vampire?
When did you come to Toronto?
Like 6 months ago or so? With the
Have you been
Sabbat?
hanging out with the okay. Eloise turns to the rest of the group and just looks. This is
Ask him where
Storyteller.
Ali's
On Ali's sign, just trying to keep a straight face through this. Would I have heard about any Sabbat coming into the city?
You have not yet.
I
Ask him
still
where
have
the
some
rest
Sabbat
of his
connections. All right. Interesting.
ask him where the rest of his crew are hanging.
Where are the rest of your crew?
There's like a Red Path place or something to do with sugar.
Oh no.
Down on the waterfront.
No. Yeah. Sugar Beach.
Yeah, I know it.
All right.
Ask him what Wesley hired them to do or instructed them to do exactly.
Okay. What did Wesley hire you to do?
He just told us to go in and mess stuff up. Keep people off their thing. What's the term?
Is Wesley one of you?
No, I don't think so. Like, we were coming into the city and we were gonna like try to take it over. But then he kind of figured out where we were and who we were and sent people out. Some of our people met with him, and then he gave us like ideas like, this is much better than just running in and trying to kill everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Friends, I want some more information from this one. Is there somewhere that we can keep him safe?
I would say bring the car around. Let's take him for a ride.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So Eloise is gonna call Fred and is gonna say,
is anyone watching us, Storyteller?
Give me wits and awareness.
Oh, I can do that. Wits and awareness. Can I also try to see?
Anybody can, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Once you see like Ellie kind of glancing around, you definitely.
You know what?
And
because I don't have any hunger right now, I'm gonna go ahead and rouse.
Can I?
And I'm gonna fail.
Okay, wait. So the specialty is 1 extra die.
1 extra die, yeah.
And could I count heightened senses?
If you turn heightened senses on, yes, you'd probably.
Is it
you'd get
would I know if it's a bad idea to do it? I
In this
probably
Well,
place?
you don't. And heightened
Yeah.
senses. Do you have to heighten all your senses at the same time?
I've always run it the LARP way, where it's like you pick a sense, and then that one's the one that's heightened.
Yeah, because I would be like, yo,
'Cause-
let me heighten my vision.
Yeah,
Sort of
I want to
That
heighten
one
my
Except for
might
the
not-
laser light show.
Yeah, that one might not be a
Yeah.
good idea either.
I'm
Fair
gonna
enough.
Because it's like it's loud, so it's like I don't want to do that. There's like bass reverberating through the floors, so heightened sense of touch
I'm
probably
going
not a good idea either.
I'm going to oh wait. What? I don't understand this sheet. I'm going to blow willpower,
Okay,
and I can just re-roll blank
reroll
dice?
up to 3 of the non-hunger dice.
Okay, good. I had 2 blank ones. I want to do that.
All right.
Oh, they still came up blank. Feels bad.
6 successes with a crit.
6 with a crit for wits and awareness.
Yeah.
3.
8 with a crit.
8 with a crit.
I only got 3. I underachieved.
That is 10 for Cliff.
Oh no, that's
10
still
with a
good.
crit. 10 with a crit. It
Um,
cost me another willpower, but yeah, it's deleted.
Oh yeah, I spent some willpower for that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I got 1 willpower I could use. Yeah, I'll do
for
that. And
Diana, you
Yeah.
look around and there's like lasers and it's loud. You're not quite sure what everybody's looking for right now. For everybody 6 and above, you look around. There's, doesn't look like anybody's really looking at you or watching until such point in time as your vision falls on the DJ booth. And it's like you can feel that the DJ is watching you, even though it looks like the DJ to the casual observer is like head down doing mixes, stuff like that. You just know that this particular person is keeping an eye on you.
so I'm going to reach for our compliant compatriots collar, basically. Grab him by the collar and start sliding him out of the booth and going, it is time for us to leave.
And Eloise is called Fred around to the front.
Excellent.
I have a play. While this is happening, I just find, a random mortal, and I'm like, hey, come here. Come here. You, come here.
Me? All right. Yeah, what?
And I just slide out Canadian version of $100, and
The
I'm
brown
like,
one, yeah.
It's still $100
this.
bucks.
take this card and give it to the DJ. Tell him to call me.
All right. So you like wrap
Go.
the card in the $100 bill type thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Wait. Hold on. I keep the money, right?
Yes, you keep the fucking
Oh,
money.
right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So he pockets the money and then he like runs off to the DJ to hand the card over,
Cool.
and everybody makes their way outside.
We out.
So that seems like a good point to end this particular episode.
In the car, just really quickly, as everyone's getting settled in, Diana's gonna take her phone. She's just gonna send a text message to her Primogen that says, I would like an audience with you at some point soon. We have some things to discuss. And it's just signed D.
Okay. And that's a good point to end this particular episode with the dun dun dun.
I said, then I would have been.
All right, so thank you everyone for watching this particular episode. For any bits, subscriptions, or if you are watching us on YouTube, basically watching it, because watching it helps us with the ad revenue and stuff like that. So there's also a YouTube like add-on thing that you can get for $2.99, which helps us out. It's a monthly kind of subscription, but they don't call it that. I completely forget what it's called.
Membership. It's
That's
called a
the word.
membership.
Yes, memberships. For any memberships you happen to send our way, always appreciated, and all the money goes to over here, the people on screen, and for equipment upgrades because we
Like, comment, and subscribe.
So let's do a quick roundtable. We'll go in the opposite order. We'll start off with our special guest for this chronicle, which is Anne.
Hi, my name is Anne, also known as XO_Girl Wonder on Twitter. I do a lot of things, mostly Regency era TTRPGs right now. Yeah, just check out my Twitter where I will be posting whatever it is I'm doing, because I'll be damned if I can remember it right now.
And Prince.
Hey everybody, I'm Prince, also known as Nipples and Dice around the internet. That is where you can find me, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and all that jazz as Dimples and Dice. You can also find me over on my sister station, Rolling D's 20s, where we will be back tonight following this episode. We'll be raiding over there for our season premiere of season 5, the 5th and final season of Rolling D's 20s Philly by Night. That does not mean that all of our Philly shenanigans will be over after this season. It just means this particular coterie story is done for now. So do come and join us for that. I am on a bunch of other stuff and things. There's going to be some announcements here coming up for June. So do make sure you're watching out on my Twitter to see the next things I'm up to. Lots of excitement to come, though.
And Joanna.
Hello, my name is Joanna. You'll find me on Twitter under Hyrule Gardner, and you'll find me here on Saturdays doing vampire-y things. I tend to do the wrangling of things on VBN, and I'm excited to tell you that tomorrow at noon PST, you can actually see another game in Toronto. You can see a vampire game in Toronto, a special mission of another coterie here in Toronto. That coterie consists of Daryl Dorsey, Obalorin, Theta Chan, who is amazing, and a geek after my own heart, obviously. And last but not least, Blue Del Barrio, who has kindly decided to join us for a vampire game because Blue wants to play some vampires. So we're pretty excited to play with Blue. This is all for Jasper's Game Day. There are going to be advantages given to all of us players. No disadvantages, only advantages if you donate. So please donate. The Tiltify link will be in the chat if you want to donate early, and let us know which player you want to give advantages to. You can also give disadvantages apparently to our storyteller, which is actually going to be fun. So please donate if you can. Please watch us if you can, and if you cannot, please, if you can, spread the word. And that's me.
And Cliff.
Thank you very much for tuning in and watching. My name is Cliff. You can find me on the Instagram under the Vintage GM, where I plaster about all sorts of gaming type stuff. You'll also find me here on the Saturdays for the Vampire Takeover for the most part, usually in Vancouver, but for a little while in Toronto. Speaking of Toronto, you'll find me here Tuesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. for Toronto by Day, Tales from the Rookery, a Changeling, the 20th anniversary chronicle. I am also over on Dark Sanded Tabletop, playing Adventure in Tucson by night. I'm doing something else somewhere else. Darned if I remember where the heck it is. And from this one, our Changeling game coming up will be the season finale of season 2, and then we'll be taking a little hiatus while we sort things out. And there's other stuff coming down the pipe. Check out my Instagram. You can find out all the information there. Thank you.
And this guy's Storyteller Steve. So what I want you to do is go to that Tiltify link, check it out, donate if you can, help spread the word if you can't, and if you feel like helping us out over here, any bits or subscriptions are always appreciated. Go check out our Threadless store and go subscribe on our YouTube. It's totally free to do the subscription on YouTube, and it helps us out a lot. The more eyeballs that we get on all of our various videos, the better chance we have of making a little bit of coin, and we can share it all with everybody who's over here. So yeah, help us out, and we will hop over to season 5 premiere of Rolling These 20s presents Philly by Night, right about
Yeah, get hype.
now.
Woo!
So we will see you next week for the last episode of Toronto by Night, and
It's over already.
yeah, it's over already. Have a good night, everybody.